this is the most important player to sign. You have guys that are maybe way better technically or other stuff, but this is like the foundation of the club. You can't. You saw it. He just went into a mood of I want to score. Who can do that? He said I want to score, and he went to score. You know that you don't have that often. But the fact that, for example, if he was in that back four of Nottingham Forest, you don't have the coach. The coach doesn't have to get up. He will sort it out. And yes, he will get caught sometime, and we've seen it. But more often than not, he will stop a counter with his mouth. He doesn't have to defend. He's very clever. I said he's the most important player at Liverpool.
Week show with Arsenal, who completed that perfect Champions League phase by beating bottom club Kairat Almaty 3-2. Their focus now returns to the Premier League title charge and a trip to Leeds on Saturday, which we've had a little chat about. But Danny, finishing top, a huge bonus, you'd have to say, for Mikel Arteta. Are you backing them to go on and win the Champions League?
I still think it's very, very, very difficult.
Okay.
To win are they going to win every single game now through to the final? No. I would say they're going to lose a game. Do they lose 1-0 and then win the other game 2-0 and obviously go through? Mm-hmm. There's every chance of that as well. So I think it's going to depend on the bad game that they have in the Champions League. How bad is it? A 1-0 defeat is not a problem, but if it's 2 or 3, then obviously you start to struggle. In the reverse leg.
Why can't they? Because they've got this 100% record so far. They've beaten some good teams along the way.
Well, I don't think it's ever happened before.
So you're going on history.
I would go on probability.
Okay.
And probably sensible. It's like, can you win every game in the Premier League? It's not going to happen. No. To go invincible, it's almost impossible. We've seen it, only ever seen it once. So that's not going to be easy. There's 1 or 2 cracks. Obviously, we've seen in Arsenal at the moment. I guess the answer is, or the question is, the centre forward. Do they have a centre forward that, if Arsenal are playing badly, who's going to score for them?
Yeah.
Who's going to get them that goal? We've seen it in the past in the likes of Tottenham, Bayern Munich, Harry Kane. Manchester City, Sergio Aguero, and then obviously after that, you've now got Erling Haaland to do that. Liverpool was Mo Salah, before sort of this season would always come up with something. Do Arsenal have that player this season that if they don't play well as a team, can almost just win the game out of nothing? I think that would be the question mark over Arsenal. But they're in the box seat. They're playing well. They're still 4 points clear in the Premier League. They're top of the Champions League. Why not? I think it's just the last 2 or 3 seasons where people are going, well, they haven't quite done it before. They might fail. And as I said before, I think if City overtake them in the league, psychologically that would be a big problem and a huge hurdle to try and overcome. But in the Champions League, they have to go into every game now with full confidence and full belief. And
obviously they'd had a little bit of a wobble, shall we say. They drew with Forest. They defeat Manchester United that no one really saw coming.
It's a bad time to play Manchester United, though.
I guess.
Manchester United off the back of beating City. Michael Carrick's in. There's a huge buzz about the place. Everybody's feeling better. Maybe it was just the wrong time to play Manchester United.